And welcome back to another episode of JPN, the Beans Talk.
You bet. The energy is terrific in the gym. And here we are, ready to roll. Once again, Beans, it's good to be here. It's good to see you.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here. We're bringing the peace. We're making the peace. I can't think of other bad dad jokes and not to reference Peacemaker. I'm sorry already. That's just kind of a gross way to start things. But we did it. We finally watched season 1 of Peacemaker.
Yes. So, now they can get off our tookuses about not watching DC stuff.
Yeah. Dang it. We do.
All of you.
Kind of do. Right. Oh, dozens of you.
Hey, 200 plus.
Heck yeah.
We're climbing to 300.
We'll friggin' take it.
All right. We're getting there.
Guys, it's great to be here. We essentially just had a podcast before the podcast talking sports ball, realignment, expansion, right? All kinds of fun topics. It's just good to chat, Beans. So Very excited to be here. The good news for all of you devoted listeners is that we are not like Matt Reeves, where we are waiting for things to be so freaking perfect before we actually produce something. We're here to be messy and wonderful. We're not making you, right? We're not making you wait 6 whole dang years between productions. A couple weeks, but I think that's reasonable. So super excited to dive into it. As mentioned, we will dive deep into season 1 of Peacemaker on this episode. In 2 weeks from this fine episode, you'll hear us discuss season 2 of Peacemaker, which is on the verge of concluding. And what I understand has been well received thus far. So that Jimmy Gunn, he's done it again. So that's exciting. We're going to talk some video games, though, today, Beans. That's kind of a divergent path for us.
A little bit.
Mostly for me.
Yeah, for you.
But I'm excited.
You know what?
I'm dabbling.
You're doing it.
Thank you. In my older age, I am gaining more youthfulness, or at least attempting to be youthful adjacent.
Just wait till one of your kids asks for a gaming console.
You know, we started to dabble in that a little bit. I haven't owned a gaming console in like decades. And last Christmas, I got one for the sake of playing games with either my wife, because when she was pregnant, here, true story, okay, she would get very, very bad morning sickness that lasted all day. So just all day pregnancy sickness for the first good half, truly, for pregnancies. Very tough, very unpleasant. So we realized, because I borrowed my brother's, I think it was an Xbox 360 at the time, I borrowed it and just found like Call of Duty game that had a multiplayer mode. I'm like, we're just going to try this. We're going to see if this can distract her enough where it takes her mind off of how terrible she feels. And it worked. It legitimately worked. We didn't play zombies. I can't even remember what it was. It may have been like Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer mode or what have you. But didn't own it. Again, just borrowed the console at the time. So anyway, bought the console last Christmas season with the thought of, hey, let's bring back the good times. Let's do that again. Done that a little bit with my wife. And then my oldest son and I have played an old like Star Wars Battlefront game.
What console did you get?
An Xbox. Is it X or S? Yeah.
Okay.
One of those. And then, gosh, what's one of the Ninja Turtle games that they released? The last, I think it's Shredder's Revenge. Super fun.
I got that game.
Super fun. Yeah. Really fun.
The arcade-esque style.
Yep. And then sometime in this last year, since buying it, I played the Hogwarts Legacy game, which was awesome. Super cool. Looked freaking gorgeous. Very immersive. I'm a big Harry Potter guy, and so I found it way too fun. But anyway, video games. We're going to hit them. I'm excited for that. And then, of course, we will wrap up with another classic, JP and the Beans Top 5. And guess what? It's video game themed. Maybe this is growth.
Maybe.
Is this what growing feels like?
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
We haven't grown in a while. I'm not familiar with it. We'll see. Well, Beans, without further ado, let's get into it. Peacemaker Season 1. You've watched it. I've watched it. What are your initial takeaways, good sir?
That is a one and done for me. And by the way, not because it's bad, just because the people they're fighting, not my cup of tea. All right. That is
Tough things.
that is Beans' number one fear come to life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So yeah, I was out. I was out after that. I was hoping to God that was not what the case was, but as soon as they were building it
not
to it,
a huge fan of alien butterflies.
I am saying I do not like parasites as a whole, and they are butterfly parasites, and that's a no-go for Beans. Okay, the idea of a butterfly climbing into my mouth and tearing up my insides just to control my brain and take over my body
Not really what you're going for?
God, no.
Okay, good to clarify these things.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever see... We're just going to lean into this for a minute.
Oh, great. Love it. Let's go into my nightmares.
Yeah, let's do. Did you ever see the Peter Jackson directed King Kong movie? Like after he did the Lord of the Rings movies, it was like maybe 2005.
I have.
2006 that he released King Kong. And it was a big deal because, he had just crushed it with Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies as a CGI character. This is when the motion capture technology was still very new. And so the novelty of what he'd accomplished in the Lord of the Rings movies was just at peak hype. So then he tackles King Kong using motion capture to create a ginormous monkey. Okay, so have you seen it?
Yes, it's been a long time though. So if you're going to bring up certain things, I'm not going to remember it.
I feel like you're going to remember this because I'm pretty sure I'm going to
I've erased most of this movie from my memory.
I'll have to bring it back for
and that's because
this is going to be trauma for you,
dude,
and it's going to be painful.
That was a 3-hour-long movie.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't short.
And by the way,
it wasn't short.
It felt like a 3-hour movie. That movie dragged.
It 100% did. We're going to dwell on that movie for a little bit because it's fun.
Are you crazy?
But before we do that, do you remember? And you've almost definitely blocked this out of your brain, so let me go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off. The scene very much in the middle of the movie. They're on Monster Island, or they call it Skull Island, I think, at the time. And the ship's crew is trying to rescue the damsel in distress, and they all fall into this trench, okay? And there's let's just say 36 of them. And they're groggy, and they start coming to, and then they realize, oh, farts, the trench is filled with giant bugs and parasites and worms that want to eat us, rip us in half. And it is just one of the nastiest scenes that I have ever seen in a movie. And there are a combination of both swift and slow demises of various characters throughout that particular scene. I think it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. It's very effective, but horrible.
So I remember very little. However, getting eaten by a bug does not bother me as much as a bug inside of me or attached to me.
That's a good distinction to draw.
So,
sure.
For instance, we're going to really dive deep into this. Let's see. The first Men in Black, the cockroach guy, that freaks me out. Yep. When he comes out of the bodysuit at the end there, that's a no-go for Beans. Okay? Disgusting.
Yep.
All right? That's numero uno. The Alien franchise as a whole, with the fact that they implant the egg in people's stomachs and then they burst out. No, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's tough for everyone. That's tough for everyone.
The Brood in Marvel, we're going to go comic books here.
Yep.
Disgusting.
Yep. Quite good.
Oh my gosh. And I can't even remember how they turn those people.
Right.
Do they plant the egg in them? I don't fully remember.
It's very alien adjacent.
But I know it's X-Men related, and they keep the powers of the people they absorb.
It's not great. Yeah, it's not good.
Disgusting.
It's very
okay. So that is my range.
Yep. Yeah, it's when it starts in and then comes out that we're really having to talk about.
There's an episode of Rick and Morty where push comes to shove, they use hormones to get Morty is alone and a single teenage boy and wants girls to like him, so they affect the girls' hormones, and then eventually what he used was praying mantis DNA to do it, and so they turned into praying mantis people, and it is disgusting.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
No,
so
good.
that's
the kind of ideas that people can only come up with, I'm convinced, when they are on drugs. There's no sober-mindedness there. That is
so
something has provided the inspiration that's not natural. Yeah. So that's the scene that comes to mind. Like, I remember Andy Serkis's character in particular, which, by the way, Serkis double dipped because he did the motion capture for Kong.
Of course he did.
In the movie, but then he's playing one of the live action members of the crew, and his demise is particularly gruesome and elongated because his legs one at a time get, let's just say, caught, right? And then an arm, and then another arm, and then head. And it's just like, oh. And the sounds are just tough. It's like a hip mushy and yet crunchy all at the same time. Terrible. It's horrible. So to bring it all back to Peacemaker, season 1, alien parasitic butterflies. Sure. James, can we please just stop with the super gross aliens for a bit? That's my ask, because I'm right there with you as far as one and done, dude. It's just too gross to watch when I know what's coming. It's actually, I think, worse when you know what's coming, to go, I'm going to willingly subject myself to this nastiness.
I got to the point where when I knew the tongue was coming out, I actually looked away.
Yeah.
I looked away. I was like, I can't do it anymore. I know what's happening. I didn't need to see this part.
Right.
Oh, it's just so uncomfortable and gross.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm so glad they killed all of them.
Right.
Spoiler alert. I'm so glad they're all dead. That was disgusting, dude. Ugh.
All but one. Like, you let
But that one eventually did die because there's no more food.
Sure.
So that one was going to die.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So nastiness established and nastiness aside. One and done for each of us. Agreed. What else did you think? Positive, negative, or otherwise?
I loved Peacemaker's dynamic with his dad. I think that was a very powerful part of the show because it shows why Peacemaker is the way that he is, because his dad is an absolute terrible person. Yep. Horrible. It actually humanizes Peacemaker a lot to be like, okay, this dude's not.
You actually turned out okay relative to what you were subjected to as a youth.
Villain is like, that's a hard, I don't know if villain's the right term here. It's definitely anti-hero at his best. He's an anti-hero. So to watch him deal with all of that, and then actually it'd play off the comics because apparently he's a little schizophrenic in the comics and sees his dad, his racist dad, all over the place, which is poor guy. That's tough.
Yep.
So that was awesome. Well, not awesome, but that was a very key component for him, because you also get to see, okay, he did have a problem shooting kids. He does. He says that he doesn't. But he actually does. And you're like, okay, again, maybe this guy isn't as terrible of a person as we think he is.
Yep.
So getting to watch that, because that's a lot easier to get behind a guy like that than other way around.
It makes it a lot more engaging when there's genuine complexity to how his character, what we have seen, right, of his character, when you draw out how that's been created, right? When you understand the context of the character and the complexities that have developed that person, it becomes infinitely more worthwhile to engage with that character on an emotional level. You just have different ways you can actually connect with the character. It becomes less of a binary black, white, good, bad, and more of a, okay, I see where the bad is certainly there. Especially if you're going to judge a character strictly off of their actions, right? To drop little Batman Begins quotes, what I do that defines me, right? Okay, that is a much longer list of bad than it is of good. And yet, that context that we get to see in this season helps draw out what has been just under the surface of this messy character, which is there's a good individual in here that's trying to come out, right? There's a kid that wants to please his dad. There's a idealist that wants something worth committing to and striving for. Problem is, he's got a terrible dad, and he keeps partnering up with the wrong people, right? Like Task Force X, draw the best out of you in all likelihood. You're going to be asked to do some unsavory things. So yeah, it makes his character infinitely more engaging.
I just love how he was the self-aware high school bully that didn't get out of high school. Like that was just kind of his character.
That's a great way of summarizing it. Yeah,
like watching him cry in his own room, just kind of hilarious.
Yeah,
because he's having this existential crisis where he's like, I want to be a better person. He's like, if I wasn't making fun of him so much, maybe he'd actually be my friend. And he's bawling. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But no, it was, it's great. It's absolutely great because he is a douche, but you're rooting for him a little bit more to just be like, okay, dude, figure it out. You can do it.
You can see there's enough of an opening there where you can see how this character could be redeemed, right? Where it's like, I could see you ending up on your range of outcomes on the best possible side of it. Like you're never going to be a Captain America, Superman figure that's the ideal, but we can see how you could be firmly in that camp. But then he's also very flawed. And he's also very selfish.
Yeah. So
I mean, there's some personal ownership that he has to take too. Like, yeah, there's plenty of the nature nurture, plenty of bad nature, nurturing at work, but there's some, again, elements of his character he just has to own and deal with.
Yeah, it makes me really wish that literally the side story with his dad, I wish that would have been the main storyline.
Yeah.
I think it would have been more impactful. And then literally just have him be in charge of a bunch of like racists. Like literally nobody's going to be mad about killing a bunch of racists. Okay. Nobody's going to be mad about that. So, and then you could have thrown G.I. Robot in there just to shred some other Nazis as well. And it would have been great. Missed opportunity. But overall, like they did a really great job. Again, this is James Gunn. So you knew he's going to do a good job at fleshing out the character even more. So to see that again with Peacemaker of all characters,
it makes me appreciate so much how this is rare, and it's more rare than it should be. But it's rare for directors or screenwriters to have dialogue that isn't cliche-ridden, that isn't so preoccupied with moving the story along that they just say the simplest and most basic way of communicating a message. Like there is genuine intentionality and creativity behind each voice that the characters are given. And I think it's also a lot of fun to watch this season of Peacemaker and see, when it was released back in 2022 and see the progression, what I would call progression in James Gunn's writing and his ability to find a voice for individual characters, having just seen Superman this summer. Because I think there's times where, especially in this season, like each of these characters, whether it's Harcourt, John Economos, Adrian, Peacemaker, there's times where, and I don't mean this negatively, but they set, like, to me, it's like you're all just James Gunn talking. It's like you're a little different, but you're all just James Gunn talking. And I think the reason I point that out isn't to dunk on it, okay? It's a hard thing to do to develop individual character voices, and he does it. I think I've just seen so much of James Gunn stuff, right, with the Guardians of the Galaxy movies that it's like, oh, this is kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy just in a R-rated Peacemaker story, okay? And yet, in the Superman movie this summer, Lois Lane, Clark Kent, Lex Luthor, like these primary characters, and then even the supporting characters all have individually unique cadences and ways in which they communicate. So it just stuck out to me. I was really impressed with that.
He definitely has a style. And
so much.
And it's what I appreciate about that style is it's not like okay, you say your line, this guy says his line. This is a more fluid,
more interactive,
organic.
Yes,
you can kind of tell they kind of riff off of each other a little bit too when we're doing stuff. Like when Peacemaker's just listing off all the people that he could have arrested instead of his dad. Like they said he completely improv all of that, which is hilarious. So just little stuff like that where you're like, okay, he also lets these actors and actresses kind of flesh out their characters as well to bring out what they can bring out. Correct. So he's phenomenal with this kind of stuff. So
and again, like the dialogue, I'm not dunking on it. The dialogue's great. It's so much more engaging than it has any right to be. These are not characters that have the benefit of prior context that makes any of us go, man, I'm going to go watch that show.
Right.
Truly. And if you want to say, well, the Suicide Squad, okay, great. Take it back one step further. Before the Suicide Squad movie came out, who was going, man, all right, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher 2? What an unbelievable ability to create dialogue that is engaging. Like it's truly remarkable. So watch the show if you haven't still, like us. Watch it for the dialogue, if nothing else. It's intentional, it's creative, it's deeply enjoyable. Deeply enjoyable. Yeah. Were there anything, aside from the grossness, was there anything that was particularly negative for you about this season, or a weak spot that you're going,
No.
Yeah.
Not really.
Nothing really stood out for me in that regard either. Like I didn't even feel like it dragged. At any point. Like the pacing was pretty sharp.
No, it was, and even like all the action scenes were fantastic. Like when they just let Peacemaker and Vigilante just go into the warehouse, and nothing is funnier than Peacemaker just having the X-ray vision goggles, and they have the conversation beforehand, be like, hey, don't kill anybody right away, and he just notices all of them are butterflies, and you're just like, bang. They're like, whoa! And he's like, literally, I see all of them. It's like, we're just going to kill everybody. It's like, okay, it's great. So, might as well start it off strong.
Right.
But it was fantastic. So, no, there wasn't too many weak points. The only thing I think would have benefited a little bit more, I would have actually liked a little bit more of Waller.
Yeah.
Because, obviously her presence is felt through her daughter, which I thought was an actually great addition because it fleshes Waller's character out a little bit, too.
Yeah, it didn't subtract from Adebayo either. Like, she was still a very worthwhile character in her own right. Like, she was not there just to be the Waller connection.
Right.
Right? Like, she had plenty of worthwhile reasons to exist, and her own character developed as an individual as well throughout the show.
And she also knows her mom's not the best person in the world.
Right.
Like she figures that out. Throughout her relationship with Peacemaker, even she's like, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yep.
So I just think it would have benefited a little bit more having Waller, because I think her daughter turning on her at the end there would have hit a little bit more.
I agree.
Instead of just her watching the screen and be like, right. Right. So again, not a huge thing, but if we're looking at under the microscope.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was really good to have her character in the show, though, because she is the present day what Peacemaker went through as a youth. Right now, Adebayo at this point is obviously a fully grown adult as well, and yet she is still very much more intertwined with her mother, to where she is simultaneously going through the same progression that Peacemaker has or is going through as well. So it's same path, just the timing is just ever so slightly offset. So they're getting to, in a certain sense, help each other continue to grow without intentionally going, hey, I'm going to help you out here. But it was a good, as an audience member, I think it just helped bring even more light to Peacemaker's upbringing and progression.
100%.
Yeah, totally. Okay, Vigilante's just so dang fun.
I love that guy.
What an absolute goof. Like his first freaking scene where he's outside the restaurant, he's like he's practicing his punches and he's saying all kinds of random just stuff. Like what a goofball. I've never seen Freddie Stroma, the actor that plays Vigilante, in anything else. And I want to see him in as much as possible at this point. He was a delight. He was so fun. Every time he was on the screen, he was so enjoyable. He's all masked up. He's somehow enjoyable. It's like, you can't even see his face and his voice and his intonations. Like, it's pure comedy all the time.
He played such a great sociopath. Like, in the sense of, like, he does not read the room whatsoever, does not understand feelings. He's like, I kill people.
Right.
And just the way he's talking to the Peacemaker, he's like, sometimes you kill the wrong guy, but you just pick it up and you keep going. But like him and Peacemaker's ridiculous conversations together is just phenomenal. So give us a ton of Vigilante. I love that guy.
Truly.
So good. And, obviously I think the biggest comparison you get is Deadpool, but he's not like at all. Like the humor.
Deadpool's narcissistic, and Vigilante's not. He wants a buddy, right? He's trying to partner. He's like, I want a friend. Like Peacemaker and I, we're BFFs. Like this is my guy.
Well, and I would even go on the limb too of like Deadpool has emotions.
Yes,
and this guy does not. And
no,
it just plays so well in that world.
Yeah.
So. I did. Vigilante was awesome. Just watching him get hit with a grenade.
Yeah.
And even like then, he's not like pissed or crying. He's like, oh, that hurt. And then he kept going. Like, you're like, okay. So this guy is just, emotionally.
He's all about getting thrown into prison. He's like, sweet. I'd love to.
Willingly.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Sounds great.
The thought process of like, his dad's the problem. Yeah. You kill his dad. Like that, and then him sitting down and making fun of all of these other racists, and just provoking them. He's like, what was your favorite moment in Black History? And it's all like, who is this guy? It's just fantastic. So I would watch. That would be I would need to find a way to watch Peacemaker season 1 without all the butterfly stuff. Yeah, so if I could like cut it or like skip to those certain parts, it'd be great.
I think and that's one of my favorite things about watching a show is, and I think this happens more in shows than it does in movies. Anecdotal, I don't have any actual data to back that up, but where you get to see a actor or actress emerge, right? Like there's more time. The reason I think this happens in shows is since you have multiple episodes, you just have flat out more quantity to fill, more time that you need to incorporate characters in. Movies, you're clocking in that 2-hour range, give or take more or less. And so I love when you get a character, and in particular, an actor or actress that just is such a great fit for that character. And you go, more please of that person. And that was Vigilante and Dear Sweet Freddy for me. That was just a blast.
I can't wait for the watch through for season 2 just for him again, because he was easily my favorite character in this season. So it's not even close for me.
Yeah, he's, oh my gosh, what a damn delight. And like Steve Agee, maybe it's a G, it's Agee. I really don't know how Steve pronounces his name. That guy cracks me up. Like he's been in a number of things that I've seen, like just small bits and pieces. He's just one of those people, right? Just one of those people that's just funny to look at, right? And he knows it.
I'm sure he would love to.
He knows it. No, he knows it. And gosh, who is he reminding me of? Okay, hang on. There's a little mental thread that. Oh my gosh, Will Forte. Okay, Will Forte is this way for me, where I look at Will Forte and I instantly want to laugh, and then as soon as Will Forte starts talking, I'm like, this is hilarious. That's Steve for me. Like even when I've seen Will Forte in context where he's genuinely like it's a sober scene and he's being serious, and I can't take him seriously. Like, I am laughing at a sad moment when he is sharing his character's heart's desires. I'm like, I can't help it. This is just a hoot. That's Steve for me. So yeah, freaking John Economos. God,
and you know what? He got
just fun.
He got his moments.
He did.
He did get his moments. You know,
almost in spite of his best efforts.
He chainsawed a gorilla in half. That is phenomenal. Ugh. What a scene. Wow. What a scene.
Wow.
And, you know, watching him go through a monologue about how terrible his life is just to save his own life is poor guy.
And just those damn little threads, right, of the how his beard is dyed, and it just ends up being the personification of how sad he is as a person.
Or how he broke his leg. Like, he goes through all the fighting, and then they just have him trip over the fence and break his leg.
Rip his shin wide open.
And he's like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fantastic. I would probably be the same way if that's how I broke my leg.
Oh,
You're going through an alien invasion.
It'd be frustrating.
And then you just break your leg in the worst way possible. It's like a football player with a non-contact injury.
Oh, 100%.
Like, what happened to you? Oh, you know, I tripped.
It'd be so discouraging. Yeah, it'd be so discouraging. No, he was fun. And Jennifer Holland is hardcore. Like, she's great.
Yep.
She does a phenomenal job. I'll be curious. She's obviously going to be a big part of season 2. I'll be curious to see how it is they let her character progress. She was maybe the most like straight out of all the characters that we had in this show. And again, I don't mean this in a negative way. I just feel like she was asked to be almost the baseline that everybody else could play off of. Right. And she executed it well. Like, she was an appropriate fit for that role. She could, she executed it well. I'm just curious to see if we'll see more stretching of that character in this second season. Robert Patrick, like, that guy just might have achieved, if he hadn't already, just legend status at this point. Kudos to that dude for bringing it in this show. Like, how easy would it be for a guy that has made his career already? He doesn't necessarily need to do this, and you couldn't tell. Like, you might as well have found a guy that was young and hungry. Instead, he's old and hungry. Like, the amount of freaking energy that guy brought, man, did he lean into it. He is such a believable bad guy. By all accounts, he's actually a very sweet person, and yet here he is portraying this awful human being, this racist, white supremacist. Like, if anybody shouldn't have fathered a child, it'd be that guy, right? We're like, please don't reproduce. And yet...
and he did it twice. Yeah. And he pretty much just raised his kids to beat the crap out of each other, which is...
Did it twice so that one of them could kill the other one, really. I mean, I think that's...
And then blame the other
approach. One. Right. He's like, I'm just going to see which one of you... survival of the fittest. One of you is going to live. One of you is going to die. I'm going to...
Which, isn't it crazy, too? It's crazy, too, that he turned on the one that did survive.
Yeah.
Like, you think he would be championing the one that won, which, again, messed up either way. But it's even more messed up that he's like, oh, now that I got what I want, I didn't want you. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. And see, those scenes at this stage of my life, like, if I had watched this show 10 years ago before I had kids, those scenes, obviously I wouldn't enjoy them, but they wouldn't have bothered me as much as they do now that I've had kids. Like, I just can't do youth violence. I just can't do it. Can't hang with it. And I get it. Like, it was effective, but man, I just disliked it so much. Because that's not a critique of the show as that was really poor. I just hate watching it. It's truly, I'm like, man, just about anything else. Like, give me another butterfly over this. Like, it's awful. It works. It's effective. Oh, man, I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's the reason that it's in there.
Yeah.
Because they want you to hate that guy to the utmost.
It worked. Mission accomplished.
No, you...
Yeah.
Pile on that he's a racist. He's also a child neglect.
Just bad. Bad to the nines. which makes it all the more hilarious that Economos is like, yeah, we're going to say it was this guy's fault. Like, out of all the people in the world, it's like you chose Peacemaker. I love that scene where Economos is like trying to justify his choice, and everybody's like, dude, you screwed up. Just own it. You made a bad move. I did not realize before starting this season that our guy Chukwudi Iwuji was in this as Myrn.
I knew he was in it, but I didn't know what his role was.
No, totally forgot. I think the first thing I saw him in was actually Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah, and that's how he got that role, was from
was Peacemaker Season 1
so
first.
But
There's something arresting about that guy. Like, again, I want to see him in more.
Yeah. He's just
it's his dang eyes. Like, he has an intense look.
He's very calculated.
Yes.
That's what he usually brings to the table, because High Evolutionary was like that too, where it's just like, oof.
Oh,
okay.
Right. Perfect fit. Yep. And his eyes and voice are just, goodness gracious.
And both emotionless characters.
Mm-hmm.
So, in different ways.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Crazy.
I would love to see. I bring him up. I know his role was, again, fairly straight, relatively limited. But I think it's like, gosh, give that guy more to do in the DCU. And I don't think anybody's going to begrudge James Gunn from finding a way to bring that actor back into a worthwhile role.
More steady, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
Here's part of what I wanted to touch on, okay? Because this is wild. We're talking about a freaking Peacemaker show.
Yep.
That's absurd. It's absurd. Now, I won't go back too far, but chronologically, I did want to just establish the context for this show. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 comes out in 2017, right? After that movie is when the James Gunn Marvel saga unfolds, and we won't recap all of that. Listeners will know enough.
And if they don't, look it up.
Oh my.
There's many smart devices in front of you. I'm sure you're looking on your phone right now.
The point is, the schism that results from that creates an opening for James Gunn to detach from Marvel and DC somehow. This is the only thing that I can relate this to in my life is as a Baltimore Orioles fan. Okay. Most of my baseball loving life has been with the Baltimore Orioles being mediocre to poor, right? So the Orioles are in the midst of this stretch of years where they're just flat out terrible. Somehow their terrible ownership manages to hire a general manager who then hires a manager that rebuilds the team into a solid to good team. Once again, it's like, how did this owner who got all these other things wrong and is still an active disaster, like hasn't gotten their poop in the group, still in the midst of this singular good move, is still doing other foolish, hilariously bad things? So I say all that to say, how on earth did DC, how on earth were they able to snatch James Gunn? Like, how did they have the wherewithal to go, hey, we should go get that guy? I mean, they're right. But they were such a mess at this point, and yet somehow some divine intervention says, you shall have James Gunn, DC. And the reason that's significant is because then he does Suicide Squad in 2021, introducing to all of us the character of Peacemaker. He cast John Cena. And listen, John Cena's filmography is not littered with fine cinematic works of art or a whole lot of in-depth dialogue, shall we say. And I'm not dunking on John Cena. He's been in the Transformers movies. When I was growing up, his big movie, at the first, I think, movie that he made was The Marine, right?
Hey, that is a 17-time world champion, all right? We respect John Cena.
Entertainer. He's a phenomenal entertainer. None of this could anybody else have said, oh, that guy, this character? No, this was all just out of the blue kind of stuff. And yet, there we go. Suicide Squad comes out in 2021. It's very good. again, that was a one-timer for me, but it's very good. John Cena was really effective as Peacemaker. And then we get a freaking Peacemaker show in 2022, and it's billed as a limited series, right? They're going, this is a one and done. We've got James. We're just kind of trying to keep him around because at this point, James has made nice with Marvel and is in the midst of making Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which comes out in 2023. And then at that point, that's it. Boom. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, done. James Gunn is in, not just in the DCU, but he's the guy. They're giving him all the keys and saying, my guy, go for it. And now here we are in 2025, and we've had a Superman movie, Creature Commandos, and we're almost to the end of season 2 of freaking Peacemaker. The context is just wild to me. Like somehow Peacemaker was the in to all the rest of this. Incredible.
I really hope he hits an AA on somebody. His attitude adjustment. Or, the five-knuckle shuffle.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I would pop for that in Peacemaker season 2. So, but yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It is a wild run. So, especially with those picks.
Truly.
So, I think Kevin Feige is especially heaved that he lost Gunn to DC, because I think he knows how valuable of an asset James is.
Yeah.
So, to see him thrive the way that he's thriving, that's a great thing for him, for sure.
Yeah, no question. So, just wanted to provide that context because it just can't be ignored. Like this is silly, and it's great, but it's silly that we have now a second season of freaking Peacemaker. And who's to say? There certainly could and probably will be seasons 3 and beyond of the character as long as people continue to tune in and enjoy what James Gunn is putting out. And like we've talked about with James Gunn in particular, it seems as if he does need these certain outlets, let's say, where he can get as weird as he wants to get and then hone it in a bit for the more mainstream content. But there's an appetite for both. It's not an either or. So I'm not. Yeah, I don't mean to disparage it. I just think it's a fascinatingly correct fit. Just blows me away. Anything else on Peacemaker, my dear sweet beans?
No, I'm excited for season 2. Can't wait to talk about that.
Pumped to get into
on the next one.
Yep,
for sure.
Very pumped to get into it.
Thank you, John and James.
Yeah, well done, you guys. I can't believe I'm saying that about a Peacemaker show. Incredible. All right. Hey, let's talk video games. So this week, we were blessed with a trailer for the upcoming Wolverine video game. And what's that, you say? There's not been a solo Wolverine game, or at least not one that's worth a turd, in decades. This looked horrific. If you haven't watched it yet, pause, go watch it, and come back because it's a treat. It looks incredible. It looks like you took the best parts of what we've seen of Wolverine on screen, and not just the best, but it depends on your appetite for this, also the most violent, right? Like, okay, yeah, what if we gave a dude metal knives coming out of his hand and he went into battle with that? And the effects are about as literal and as gruesome as you could possibly imagine. For better or for worse, again, whether that's your cup of tea or not, it's Wolverine essentially unleashed in video game form. I could not believe how just raw it was. And I don't mean raw in a negative, like, poorly put together sense. I mean raw in a, there are appendages flying because he is using said knives. Just wild.
Oh, the gameplay looks phenomenal. I'll be very curious to see where Insomniac relates that to Spider-Man in sense of the leveling up portion, if there is a leveling up portion.
And unwrap that for me, because I haven't played the Spider-Man PlayStation games, and there's been 2 now by Insomniac, correct?
Yes, and a Miles Morales game as well. So technically 2.5 because it wasn't a full game, but it is a game, and it was important to the story and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, technically 2.5. Call it 3. Yes, so they have a full-on leveling system throughout the games. With Spider-Man, you have different types of missions you can do. Obviously, you have the main storyline.
Yeah.
I think of Spider-Man 2, just because that's the most recent one. There was a Carnage spinoff.
Okay.
And I shouldn't say Carnage because it was Cletus Cassidy. So it was before he was Carnage, and they made him into this like cult leader.
Okay.
Great choice for the character. So you had that. You had another side mission where Mysterio is trying to turn his life around, and he's created all these Mysterio portals across. So you have to go through those missions. And as you're completing these other missions, you can unlock more points to upgrade Spider-Man's, whether it's tech, so you can get like they have tripwires essentially. So if a bad guy walks through it, they'll just get hit with a web and stuck to a wall, and it takes them out. So stuff like that.
Right.
And with Miles, obviously more electric, more invisibility. So a bunch of different upgrades and finishers and health you can add on.
Yeah. In other words, you don't start the game with the character that's fully formed in terms of their skill set and power set. You continue to unlock additional abilities as you progress.
Yes. And then you can also earn alternate costumes and stuff like this. I'll be curious to see if there is a perk tree, we'll call it, for Wolverine, because Wolverine's such a very straightforward character. Right? With Peter, you can kind of go the tech route because
you can get creative with the webbing, especially.
The different types, all that fun jazz. Wolverine is very, I'm going to cut you.
Knives, slash.
So do you upgrade the health? I don't it's going to be very... I don't know. We'll see how that all works out. From this trailer, I am super excited about the Rogues Gallery we're getting from this. We're getting Omega Red, which that is a character that does not get enough love.
Not a character that I can honestly say that I'm terribly familiar with.
So, Russian weapon. He was a part of the Weapon X trials, I believe, but for Russia. I don't know which weapon he was in line with, but it was back when they were still the Soviet Union. So they have him, and he's got like whips, metallic whips. We saw a little bit of Mystique in that trailer.
Recognize that.
I'm guessing the Purifiers were the cyborg people. Not 100% sure. We're getting the Sentinels, which... Holy crap, that looks like a lot of fun to kill. It just does. And from what it sounds like, instead of where it's Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, you're contained to the city of New York. It sounds like with Wolverine, you're going all over the place because they showed Madripoor. I believe they teased Japan. So we're going to be, I'm assuming Russia as well if we're going to go up against Omega Red. I am very curious to see all the different routes because we did not get Sabretooth teased at all in here. And you got to have Sabretooth in a Wolverine game. You just do. And that's just one example.
I love the inclusion of Mystique, though. Like, to me, that both makes a lot of sense and wasn't an obvious, they're going to include her in a Wolverine game.
That's the other
sense.
That's the other thing, too, is like, how much of them are Wolverine focused and how much are like, are we going to see some X-Men here and there make an appearance? Like, I'm going to pick Gambit just because of X-Men Origins, but is a Gambit going to step in for a little bit? Like, we have options here. I'm very curious.
The sandbox is huge.
Colossus. So,
especially if you go into Russia.
That's just almost too fitting. You know, Wolverine's very complicated relationship with Storm as well. So I will be very curious to see all the directions they go with Wolverine. I'm pumped. I'm hoping we get an actual, I think we do. I should have looked, but I'm excited to get the actual Wolverine suit. They showed a lot of him out of the suit, which is fine. It's Logan. However, I really want the Wolvie suit to add. So I'll be curious to see who else villain-wise they announce. Because what I've loved about Insomniac, they do a phenomenal job with their character creation.
Yeah.
They do a great job of combining the character from its comics and modernizing it in a way that works really well for that character.
It stays faithful to the character.
Right.
Yeah, it's that accurate take. It's not necessarily the core take where they're limiting themselves. They're putting their twist on it, but it's a twist for the sake of maximizing the character, not to say, hey, man, we're going to do something that nobody's ever even thought of before, and it's a total reinvention of the character. They really do find that balance point.
And I think of the Sinister Six especially.
Yes.
The way that they were able to modernize Rhino and Scorpion. Those two characters.
Those can be really tricky.
Campy.
Yep.
They are campy, but they managed to make, when you see Rhino on the screen, you're like, I don't want to get hit by that guy.
Yep. No, thank you.
Vulture, again, another one like that.
Yep.
Electro, they actually teched him out a little bit too, where I'm like, oh, so he's not just the stupid 5-star lightning bolt right back there. Like, I love it for the sake of comic books, but if you're going to do Electro in live action.
The comic book looks terrible as soon as he starts to move on any kind of a screen.
Like, I know people crap on the Jamie Foxx Electro look. I get it from the sense of what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Because that looks like crap.
Correct.
Like, thank God with Michael Keaton's Vulture, his Vulture costume's sick.
Yep.
That is the tech
another good example
aspect. So I'm super excited to see Insomniac's takes on some of these characters, because Omega Red, the little view that you got of him, that looks good.
Yep.
That looks fantastic. The Sentinel,
dude.
How many of those am I going to have to take out, and how hard is that going to be?
Yeah.
Extremely. Because Wolverine is yay big.
Yeah.
And they are way big.
You're going to have some help there at that point.
So I'm can't wait to see the Sabretooth reveal. Not, again, he's not confirmed, but he's got to be
This is the first trailer. The release date for this game is currently listed as fall of 2026. So, assuming that there's no delays, which we know we live in the world anymore of release dates being loose deadlines, let's just pretend it actually does come out approximately a year from now. There's a lot of time for more, and there will be more to be shown and revealed about the storyline, because obviously we're just getting snatches, so to speak, of different elements of the gameplay. We haven't seen anything resembling a cohesive, hey, so here's the arc that is being presented in this game. So a lot of conjecture, which is fun. You can guess, but the point is we're going to learn a lot more in the months to come.
Yeah, I'm just hoping Insomniac just gets the green light from Marvel to be like, okay, what other character do you want? Because they've done it so well so far. Like, we are getting a Venom game from them as well, which is confirmed, which again, it's just a spinoff from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But those games are phenomenal.
If you can, again, like we've talked about with ad nauseum, with the movies and with the shows, if you can set appropriate boundaries for yourself to maintain quality, they could be making these games for decades by taking their time and taking individual characters that ultimately can, of course, tie in with one another in different crossover opportunities. But why not? Like, why not lean into those collaborative, those crossover opportunities? But again, taking your time so that you're not half baking the product. We know how that goes. There's so much potential here. So much potential, because there's so many of those characters that just fun to play with. Like, there's plenty of comic book characters that wouldn't be very rewarding or satisfying to play with, right? Like we've talked about with Superman. Like, that's not a good character to play a video game with. You're just supposed to be invincible and amazing at everything all the time, always. But Wolverine, where there's vulnerabilities combined with abilities, creates natural tension and opportunity in that game that I think you just got to get excited about.
Yeah, his healing factor with just health in general in that game is going to be very interesting to balance.
first time it actually makes sense in a game where you take some damage and you can just like go away from where you're getting damage from and you heal and you're like, sure.
That's what I did with Ultimate Alliance. I had Deadpool, best healing factor.
Yep.
And he had it. So you would go in, you'd notice you'd get down to like 20 health. Yep. You'd be like, bye, and you'd run around the map until you got your health back. I don't need health packs or anything when I can just do that. So,
yeah, fascinating stuff. No, something to look forward to. So, really cool drop. Again, if you haven't watched the trailer, it's just maybe a little under 2 minutes long, but it'll look and feel very much like the Wolverine that it is. So, hope Insomniac continues to crush it. Couple other brief previews that we'll hit on, not nearly in the same level of depth, but nonetheless still fun to touch on. Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight is also targeted for a 2026 release. Again, highly recommend get on YouTube to go check out the preview for this game. The Lego-based games, first of all, what another unexpected, you're telling me Lego video games are both fun and enjoyable? Yes, they are, including the Batman games that they have put out. This particular game is incorporating elements of almost every previous movie and previous Batman video games, like the Arkham game series.
The gameplay is
wild.
The gameplay is literally the Arkham series.
Yeah, just with Legos. So, okay. Looks like a ton of fun. Again, the official release date is very broad, just sometime in 2026. So, something to set some long game anticipation for, but nonetheless looks like an absolute delight based especially on Lego's track record. And then I'm still waiting for an official release date. The Marvel Cosmic Invasion game, it's a lot more winnowed down, right? Kind of a two-dimensional old school arcade style. Continues to publicly say that it's being released in 2025. There's not a whole lot of 2025 left, so maybe
Christmas.
We'll see. But that one, again, I would say put on your radar. Looks like a lot of fun, especially like as a collaborative game. That looks like a real treat where you can partner up with a buddy or buddies and have a good time playing different characters. I did read a review on that sometime in this past week of someone who was granted access to as far along as they've got the game. And they particularly, this reviewer, called out in a positive way, the different abilities of each individual character. So it wasn't you're just putting on a different suit and having the same skill set. So seems like they're on a good path. Good with that game, to be determined. Okay, it is time for another classic JP and the Beans Top 5. Today's Top 5 topic are our top 5 comic book characters that have not received their due in a video game. So, to be clear, some parameters, and again, these rules are our own, so we get to make them up as we go, and
suck it.
Whatever we like goes. So it doesn't mean this character has never been in a video game. It does mean that they haven't been in a video game as a solo or primary character that has done them justice, right? So maybe, for example, and this is not a character that's going to be on my list, back in 2005, there actually was a Hulk game that was well received. People enjoyed it. All right, well, it's been 20 years, right, since 2005, if my math checks out, and I think it does. I would say the Incredible Hulk would qualify to end up on one of our lists. He's not going to, I don't think, but that is the broad kind of spectrum that we're operating within. Wolverine would be a candidate for this list because he hasn't had a solo game of note. He's obviously been in Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, which is great. But again, that's not a solo Wolverine game or a primary Wolverine game. There's dozens of characters.
Yeah, team games are off the table.
Yeah, team games are off the table. So those broad parameters established, we thought it'd be fun to share our top 5 picks for characters that we would love to see get their own solo game and that, frankly, I think we would be excited to play, right? So without further ado, Beans, you go first. Your number 5.
Yeah, so when I was going through this, I was, for most of these, except maybe 2, I think of the world building entirely as well. Like the lands you can go and see and explore. So number 5 this is going to be a poll. I have Doctor Strange.
Oh, I like that. Yep.
The amount of different things you can see.
Totally.
The magic abilities that you can use. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of versatility with Doctor Strange.
The different dimensions and realms that you can enter.
Exactly. You're going 100%. Against Dormammu, Nightmare. You can even bring it back to the real world as well. He's defending New York.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things. A lot of cool mystical artifacts you can dive into too. Maybe that's part of it, where you have to go get the Eye of Agamotto in one of them.
Yep.
Watching that again, you're just in a wizard battle with Mordo,
right?
Baron Mordo,
right?
Okay, that sounds cool.
Could be a tough
so
one.
there's a with magic in itself. It's a very broad stroke of the brush where you can kind of just do what you want with it. It works. So my number 5, especially from the different worlds, I had Doctor Strange.
I love that take. That's a great take. All right. My number 5 is going to be Blade. Okay. The sheer gadgetry that character has at his disposal. Plus you're just walking around nuking vampires left and right, day and night, mostly at night. So much fun. Like the sword, the various throwing apparatuses that he has. I wish I could remember the name of the actual weapon, but it's like the chain. That's so much freaking fun. He has so many different ways to get at you. He's obviously very capable, but he's also very vulnerable. So I think there's a lot of natural risk in that game. I could see that being a ton of fun. I think the one big limitation is, and I love what you said with Doctor Strange, is, boy, there's a whole world to explore. I think it's a little tough for Blade. He's going to be very limited to, a city in all likelihood. Obviously, there are much more creative, clever people than I am that could perhaps take Blade other places. But hey, I don't care if you're giving me like an Arkham City version of Blade taking down vampires. That sounds like a great deal of fun.
Just going through Dracula's castle.
Count me in. Yeah. Number 5, Blade. My number 4. This may be a little bit of a pull as well. But I was thinking, what about a partner game, right? A game that is meant to be played collaboratively. And where I ended up on that train of thought was a Black Widow and Hawkeye game.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. And here's one of the reasons why I'm including it on my list, because it's not just the action element where you have two characters that have two different skill sets, but there's opportunities here for a little espionage, right? So you can mix in not just the straight mano-a-mano combat, but you have to be discreet. You have to be sneaky. You have to be clever. There's some puzzle solving elements here of utilizing the spycraft skills beyond just the boom, bang, pow going on here. And I could see that being a really fun collab game setting. And again, if they're spies, they can go all over the freaking world doing different missions. This could be, and I think this would actually be a lot of fun. An Avengers team up, right? So there's no cheat code of, let's just call in Iron Man, or what if we give Hulk a call? So it's before perhaps they meet those other metahuman influences. There's some ideas, but that's my number 4. A little Black Widow plus Hawkeye collab.
Okay.
There you go.
My number 4, I have Captain America. And this is less world building, and this is more like a timepiece, essentially.
Yep.
And you can go do a couple different things, right?
Yep.
Maybe the first full game is set in 1940s, and you're going after the Red Skull and the Nazis.
Yep.
Right? Because again, who doesn't want to kick Nazis' ass? That like everybody wants to go.
Yeah.
Like that was why Captain America exists.
Yeah.
We needed that in our world. So, I think of that. You can do it where it's in the modern day now, where he's going up against all of his old foes that he fought against in 1942. Right. I think that's also appealing. You could also do it where you hop back and forth. And it's kind of like, but you could do it.
No, I like the idea of that first game being in that more historical setting, because I say first game intentionally. I think there would be subsequent games, and I love the idea of establishing the character with those potential adversaries that will arrive in modern times, but establishing him firmly in that historical setting. I think that's great.
Yeah. So definitely Captain America at number 4.
It wouldn't be fun just to chuck that shield around, right?
Or take out a tank.
100%.
Like just shove the shield right in there and just, or just block it right up front. And just watch it blow up.
Get to actually utilize the utility of weapon and protective device. It's very fun.
Yep. Have Bucky around with you until you lose him. And then the next game he comes back as the Winter Soldier. There's a lot of potential there.
A lot of potential. I love it.
So that's my number 4.
Good number 4.
Yeah. Number 3, this goes back to the world building. I have Thor. Now, I picked Thor. Okay. I was between 2 characters when I picked Thor. I was between Thor and I was between Wonder Woman because I feel like they are 2 very similar routes.
Yep.
And I chose Thor just because the Norse mythology hasn't been tapped into as much as the Greek mythology.
Sure.
Now, we can talk about God of War because God of War goes into both Greek and then Norse. Okay, so not counting God of War.
It's cheating.
I'm not saying I want to see Thor go and kill all the Norse gods.
Yeah.
Right? However, I think it would be very interesting to explore all of the realms, all the 9 realms.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential there.
Yep.
Just with like, okay, here's the frost giants, here's the trolls.
Yep.
Go through all the elves.
Yep.
That is appealing to me in that sense. So I have Thor at number 3.
It's a great number 3. Love it. My number 3 is Iron Man. I think there's so much just maybe not quite infinite, but as close to infinite as you can get of customization and upgradability and replayability that could come with an Iron Man game. Like we know in the comics, and of course we've seen it in the movies as well, how many freaking times Tony upgrades or changes his armor, right? Like it's a silly number of times. What if you could do that in a video game? Now you can't just say, I just want everything. That's not how it works. You have some actual parameters that you have to respect and live within, but I think that presents a nice, unique challenge as well. And for as formidable as Iron Man obviously is as a character, he's far from invincible. And so, even though, of course, the comics like to call him the Invincible Iron Man, come at me, bro. I think there's plenty of, again, natural limitations there where he can be had, and you feel the challenge. You feel a challenge of the game. There's plenty of like Earth-based characters that he could go up against. You can send him out into space. So there's a lot of, I think there's just a wide range of foes that he could deal with. And I just imagine like what it would be like to play with Iron Man as a character. I only have good things that come through my head. It sounds like a whole lot of fun. Like I just get like Star Wars Battlefront in my mind when I think of what an Iron Man game would look like something similar to that. That's what I'm imagining. So my number 2 is Wonder Woman. Love what you said about Thor. I came at the Wonder Woman conclusion for many of the same reasons that you did with Thor, of the just that mythology adjacency. I love the world. I think there's a lot you could explore on Themyscira. That can obviously be the home base, but then you have these more mystic realms, if you will. There's obviously Earth. I just think there's a ton to explore there. And she's such a freaking cool character. She has the shield. She has the sword. She has the lasso. She has the ability to do fisticuffs. I think there's just a wide range of ways that she can both attack and protect. I think that would be a blast to play her as a character. And again, just the potential for the world building. I would love to see Themyscira just even fleshed out a little bit more, where it's not just this kind of ambiguous, it's just an island. It's like, well, let's get into it. What's on the island? Are there like portals to other realms that she could access? That'd be a lot of fun, right? So treating Themyscira as like a central hub of sorts, where there's plenty for you to do there, but then it's where you gain or have access to other places. I think that'd be a delight.
She does have the advantage in the weapon department.
Oh,
not that Thor can't use other weapons, but
he's got a good one.
He's got old reliable, and
the old 6-shooter.
Yeah, and Wonder Woman, she had her reliable's a whip.
Yep.
And you can't really do a very limited amount of things with a whip.
Mm-hmm.
So more of a utility weapon.
Yeah, Sheen and Indiana Jones have gotten the most out of their whips, haven't they?
True.
They certainly have. Your number 2, sir.
My number 2, my only DC pick of the whole thing, because like we talked about off camera and maybe a little at the front, but DC's characters are very hard in the sense of they are OP. Some of them, a good round of them are hard to put into a video game. We talked about the Flash, especially being a very hard character.
No idea how
to build a video game with or around. And he has a great rogues gallery to go up against. Yeah. So I picked the Green Lanterns. I think you could get a little bit creative and maybe you pick which Green Lantern you are, and that depends on what abilities
impacts your skill
that
sets.
They have.
100%.
Correct.
100%.
Right? If you want a more creative set, you go with Kyle Rayner. If you want more militaristic, you go with John Stewart.
Right.
If you want your up close and personal, you go with Guy Gardner. I think you make Hal your all-around guy.
Yep.
There's options.
100%. Can you imagine getting to play like as Kilowog?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
And he's right up there with Guy Gardner probably in the brutality portion. So, but the world building, the different planets you can go to.
Totally.
The enemies. I mean, we're talking about the Yellow Lantern Corps. We're talking about the Red Lantern Corps.
Tons.
If you want to go Blackest Night route, do it. There's a lot of options you can go here with the Green Lantern Corps.
No question.
And they're one that I don't think you can get overtly complicated with. They're one you can you pick a lane and a play style and you can just go to work.
Totally.
So that's my number 2.
Great. Your number 1, sir.
My number 1 is Iron Man. For a lot of the things that you said, the customizability. I mean, imagine hitting your Iron Man to different play styles as well, kind of with Green Lantern.
Right.
I think of all of Iron Man's enemies, you can even give them a little bit of an upgrade if you're going the Insomniac route. Like, make a not so ridiculous MODOK. Whiplash in the comics,
formidable.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. Mandarin.
Yeah.
You could even set the Mandarin up as this tech CEO who's outfitting all of these companies, and he's actually magical. That's great. Mandarin's sick.
Novel idea.
You know, Ironmonger as well.
Get Zeke Stain in there.
Stain,
100%.
Fantastic. You go down the technical route, and you have to get a little bit creative, but just Iron Man's arsenal alone, whether you want to specialize in lasers or specialize in rockets.
Yeah.
Get up and personal with a sword. Totally. I don't know. It's Iron Man. You can do what you want.
Nanotech in there.
So, like you said, the replayability and just, okay, I can kit Iron Man out how I want, and we can try this route and see how it goes. And maybe each boss, you're sitting back and you have to re-outfit how he works to have a better advantage against that villain.
Forces you to use a different set of skills.
Because that's part of Iron Man 2 is he's always upgrading, he's always retooling and rekitting. So maybe that's part of it too. We're like, oh,
he's not the blunt instrument. There is always that element of cleverness that's the foundation of trying to out strategize and outfox the opponent.
And another thing that we haven't talked about yet, and you can do this with Green Lanterns too, obviously, but the aerial fights.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially
fun.
A flight simulator,
right?
If you want it to be,
right? Totally.
I love that. Just go send him going after some jets to take out. Fantastic.
So much fun.
So I have Iron Man at number 1.
It's a great number 1. My number 1 is the Green Lantern Corps. It's everything that you said. I agree with. Word for word. I think both of our tops are similar because of that customization and that replayability. Like the possibilities are almost infinite. And I love the fact that there's great rogues galleries with both, like you said, the Green Lantern Corps. There's all the other color spectrums that you can battle against. I think it'd be fun if they incorporate some storylines where you could play as some of those villains as well, right? It's one of the great things about the Green Lantern Corps is a lot of the adjacent corps yeah, they are adversaries of, but there are plenty of times where they're having to work even begrudgingly side by side for a common cause because they have a decent amount in common. So if you had to play it as a Yellow Lantern or a Red Lantern, like I think that would be a whole lot of fun at different points.
Even imagine too, you're playing Sinestro, but when you start out the game, he's with the Green Lantern Corps, and then you can make the decision to change to the Yellow Lanterns, and all of a sudden his power set changes a little bit. So there's definitely options.
Yeah, I think it's so much fun. So there's so much potential there. Again, it's just kind of wild to me that with all of the space-based games that we've had for decades, like we haven't tapped into that one. That seems like a heck of an opportunity, heck of a potential layup. So Green Lantern Corps for me is my number one.
Just got to find the right company to do it.
100%. 100%. That's great. Beans. Well, anything else for the good people before we take it home?
Is it from me?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Boy, we appreciate you. And go watch those YouTube videos. You're going to enjoy watching that Wolverine and even the Lego Batman trailer. It's a lot of fun.
Or anything on Magic Beans Productions.
100%.
Shameless plug. So, on that note, Godspeed.
Peace.